Hey guys, Xewleer, the Mercenary King, here with deck profiles. Yay! It's been a while since I've been doing these, and that's just sort of lifestyle stuff, problems. Don't believe me, just watch. I've got Victor. This is stuff from set 10, updated for set 10. I was able to get my hands on quite a bit of it as part of my industrious take on Vanguard nowadays. Starter, Extreme Battler Rumble, Forerunner, Auto, Rearguard, G-Break 1 with your other unit, same columns this unit stands. This unit stands also. He's just a 5k booster. He is one stage, guaranteed extra to it as a booster. Doesn't mean he's like the best, but quite frankly, I don't like the mechanics that they're introducing in set 10. So having him just always going like this, you know, is just fantastic. I run 9 stand crits. 4 of the break pass, which go into the soul plus 5k, and I draw a card. And then 4 red lightnings. I like the old art a bit better. I also like her art a bit better. Red lightning goes into the soul countercharge. I run 3 Schnee Reagans for draw. Also, I like the art. I found that I need just a little bit extra draw in some of these aggressive decks. Running 3 doesn't hurt the aggression too much. 4 Ring Girl Eyes. I like her art. I run 2 Rashids, which grade 3 searcher for Stride Enabler for Victor. You can search out either Victor, by the way, but I do like to stride on this guy most of all. I run 3 Furious Punchers. Rush, Auto, Rearguard, G-Break 1. When this unit is stood to the effect of your card, choose one of your other units plus 5k. This is for use with Bustard and other cards which stand but do not give power. Or if they do, if he is stood also, I want just that extra power there. I do not use the other skill, Act, Rearguard, G-Break 1, retire this unit, choose a Rearguard and stand it. The simple reason is that if you're playing against Mega Colony, they should also be hitting your stuff with the Darkface Stride. So there's no reason to ever minus yourself this hard for it. As you can see, this deck doesn't really draw too much. Extreme Battle Maliaki. Continuous Rearguard, G-Break 1. If you have a Vanguard with Victor, all your other Rearguards in the same column get Rush, Auto, Rush on the EIB. Auto, Vanguard, Rearguard. When this unit is stood, and this is what the unit in front of it gets. Stood to the effect of one of your cards until in turn it gets Auto, Vanguard, Rearguard. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, choose up to 2 of your units, and they get plus 4k. 2 of your units. So in other words, he can give it to himself. Let's say that you restood, I don't know, this chick. So she restands, and she attacks again. You can give her plus 4k, and then you can give the column over there plus 4k. And because you're probably hitting 19k on this column, that'll be 23. So you add a column stage to it. And then I run 4 Extreme Battle or Headstrong Battle. Auto G-Break 1 when this unit is placed on G, and it's a perfect shield. If you have another one in the drop zone, I can choose one of my rear guards, and it can counterblast and be placed, not intercept, be placed on the Guardian Circle as tapped, and it gets plus 10k shield. It can work with grade 3s, it can work with this guy. It's just a really great card to give me that extra guard. And a 20k guard just randomly out of the blue is just great. 3 Starlight Hedgehog. She's all the way back in GBT set 1. I think she's one of the most underrated cards in Vanguard. When this unit is placed on Vanguard Rearguard, choose one of your other Rearguards. When this unit is when this unit is restood to the effect of a card, draw a card, choose a card from your damage zone, turn it face up, and you can't do it again. So basically, she plays. You give it to this column right here. So you swing with your Vanguard, counterblast 1, restand, draw, unflip a damage, restand, blah blah blah, plus 5k, plus 5k probably. That's why you play it. Like, she gives you a little bit extra draw. This deck isn't so much about like taking care of advantage or gaining advantage, so much as it is making sure you always have the resources to attack as many times as possible. I run 3 Severe Tempers, Rush, Auto, Rearguard, G-Break 2, which you'll have almost guaranteed every single time. When this unit is stood to the effects of a card, if I have a Victor Vanguard, and I will, you know, this unit gets plus 5k until end of turn. And it's the exact same thing as Sazanda. It is basically a Sazanda with one extra ability. Sazanda gets plus 5k whenever this is stood due to the effect of one of my cards. Same wording, except this is Victor restricted and I'll always have a Victor. Also, it gets auto rearguard, G-Break 1. When this unit is drive check, when your drive check of any unit, of course, reveals a grade 3 card, choose an opponent's front row rearguard with power equal to or less than this unit's power and retire it. So basically, if they pull a grade 3, you can kill something on their side. Sazanda I already talked about. I put him right here, over this guy, above this guy. Either one, it works. It's just super powerful. I run 3 Abarail, auto G-Break 1, Counterblast, Soul Blast when these placed on Rearguard. If you have Vanguard with Victor, and I will, pay the cost if you do until in turn this unit gets plus 2k, and then when it attacks a Vanguard, I can choose another Rearguard, stand it, and it gets plus 5k. So, you know, this swings, this restands, it gets plus 10k. That's how it works. And then I run 8 Victors. The first Victor is the new one, Rush, Vanguard, Rearguard, G-Break 2. When this unit is stood to the effects of your cards, the front row gets plus 2k. That's whatever. Also, Auto Vanguard, when your G-Unit strides during your turn, choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets Auto Vanguard once per turn, Soul Blast 1. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, pay the cost, choose a Rearguard with Rush, stand all the column. And I'm going to... Basically, that's not really as important. Like, I've got this... that has Rush. This doesn't have Rush. This has Rush. You know, like, it's not a Rush-focused deck, and honestly, I prefer striding on top of the other guy. Extreme Battler Victor. Its G-Break 2 is simple. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, it gets plus 5k, and I can choose a Rearguard, stand it, plus 5k as well. And so, this gets plus 10k, you know, 24k to the Vanguard plus triggers. And then during your turn, when G-Unit strides, choose a Vanguard and it gets Vanguard, Counterblast 1. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, pay the cost. If you do choose a Rearguard, stand it plus 5k. And that ability cannot be used again. I like it better just because it's, like, my goal is to hit this column as many times as possible and just get so much power as possible. Because I run, my first stride is always going to be like Mediokaiser Victor. I'll always have G-Break 2. You know, no reason to really run anything else. Actually, I'm going to change this out real quick. I keep forgetting Victin is, like, absolutely obsolete. So let's talk about strides. Like, I chose the 3-3-3-3 way to do it just because I like a bit of variety with my grade 2s. And I want to make sure I have an option for it, as well as make sure I hit more than these Sazandas. With this guy, I should have just basically guaranteed power all the time. These guys, you know, to compensate, you know, it's... And by the way, like, when he gets that, this compensates for this loss of power for this guy. You know, it's just one of those things. Like, it compensates for itself for the various weaknesses that it might have. Sadly, Malayaki does not count for Rush because it does not have the Rush ability. However, it can give Rush ability to the guy in front, and that's what you target. Anyway, I'm actually very satisfied with this build. First stride is always going to be Mediokaiser Victor. Act once per turn. Choose a face down card, a copy of itself. Turn it face up. Unless I go Bustard. That's like there's two different ways to do it. And I haven't really used Bustard as much, but that's whatever. Anyway, when it's going to attack, it's a Vanguard. Choose a Rearguard and stand it. Basically, I use Victor's skill, normal Victor, to stand one column, and then I use this guy to stand the other column if it hits. And then as auto Vanguard G-Break 3, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, choose a Rearguard, stand it, and it gets plus 5k. So basically, you can restand a field if this hits and you're at G-Break 3. Pretty easily. And because it gives out all these plus 5ks, it's going to be a lot of power, a lot of threat against your opponent. The other option I have is Mediokaiser Bustard. Auto Vanguard once per turn, Counterblast 1, choose a card in the face down card in the G zone, turn it face up. When this unit attacks, pay the cost, choose any number of Rearguards as the same number of face up Bustards in your G zone and stand them. If 2 or more units were stood, and if you have 5 Rearguards, this unit gets Counterblast 1, choose 2 cards from your hand, discard them. At the end of the battle, you may pay the cost, stand this unit, and gets -2 drive checks. Yeah, so basically, if I want to go restand, that's fine. If I want to go like multiple rearguard restand, that's fine. I just usually change it up based on who I'm fighting. Sometimes you just want to get those 4 drive checks before you really go in deep with the rearguards. Sometimes you just want to put on pressure and get that early restand and powerful units. You know, you see I run crits. Well, you know, that's how it works. Honestly, this is sort of a answer to the Shadow Paladin's Vortimer. Not Vortimer. Yes, Vortimer. I don't know. Diablo restander. And I think it's not as good. However, it is low cost. And, you know, if you choose things like Furious Puncher, you do get your cost back. And Sazonda and Severe Temper do forgive what you have to do with this card. The Counterblast cost is pretty high, though. Usually I just play it and, you know, keep going just to put pressure on the Vanguard opponent. Then my 4 sort of techs. I run 2 Vic Plasma. Vic Plasma is Counterblast 2, flip over a Vic Plasma. If you're at G-Break 2, it gets -1 drive check. G-Break 3. Auto Vanguard, choose 2 cards from your hand, discard them. And by the way, it doesn't say G-Break 3, but it's essentially G-Break 3. In a battle, this unit attack the Vanguard, pay the cost. If you do stand this unit, this ability cannot be used again. So basically, it's a restander, and I can just keep going. You know, it's nice. It's nice, like, if you're facing, like, a Gurgwit or something like that, and it's like, you know, what are you gonna do? You're gonna give me Unite? It's like, okay. And then you have to swing for 26 first off. It's pretty intense that way. Especially if you're, you know, well into it. The other option I have for that sort of thing is favorite champ Victor. This is the SGR. His ability is Auto Vanguard G-Break 2. Counterblast 2. Choose a card from hand, discard it. At the end of battle, this unit attacked. Pay the cost. If you do, choose up to the same number of rearguards as face-up cards in your G-Zone and stand them. If you stood 3 or more cards, discard 3 cards from hand. And if you discarded 3 cards, countercharge 1, stand this unit, and it gets -2 drive checks. So this guy is actually very powerful. However, you don't want to go into him as often as you think. For the fact of the matter is, he needs 4 cards to work properly. Guaranteed. And he -2 drive checks you as well. You know, he does restand your entire field, and with things like Furious Puncher and Severe Tempers and Starlight Hedgehogs, you know, it really does, and even like himself, you know, it really does benefit everything, and it does get a lot of power here. And you can do it as many times as you want, as you have cards in hand to do it. And you have counterblasts to do it. And because he countercharges, and if you are at like 3 damage countercharge, you can guarantee do it twice. However, eventually you'll just run out of drive checks. So if you have a large hand and you know you can kill your opponent for a lot of times you can attack, go for it. But you don't want to do it unless you're guaranteed you'll win. Like if the guy has like 5 cards in hand, you could probably win with it. 5, 6 cards in hand, even if they have a relatively full field with Gurgwit, just because you can go multiple times. But they kind of have to be at 5 damage. I would not do it unless they're at 4 or 5 damage. Anyway. And remember, even though he does lose drive checks, you can still swing for 26k or more. You know, that isn't a problem. I do run 1 Tribrute, Auto, Vanguard, Counterblast 1 when the unit is stood, do the effect of one of your cards, pay the cost, it gets +2k, choose an opponent's rearguard of power less than or equal to it, and retire it. And that's why I do it. I just use it to snipe something. I do run 4 of the new G-Guard, Medio Kaiser Junior. He is a little finicky, but he's better than the other guy, which was based on when it's used placed on G, if the number of your damage zone is more than or equal to the number of cards in your opponent's damage zone plus 5k. So, doesn't do as much. But this unit is, when this unit is, I should run a mix. You know what? I'll run one of these. I run one of these. You know, just change it up there. And then I run 3 Medio Kaiser Juniors, just because. This unit gets, when this unit is placed on G, if you don't have any cards in your damage zone, face-up cards, countercharge 2 and plus 5k guard. When you place on G, and if you don't have any cards in Soul charge 2, and this unit gets plus 5k. I'm going to point out that you only really have 1 card that Soul Blasts in this build, and this card. That's Soul Blast. So you have 2 cards that Soul Blast. And so you won't really hit it as much as you'd like. But honestly, just the fact that it can do all this stuff is so much better than a lot of things that could be out there. Yeah, that's my Victor build. Honestly, there isn't like a lot I can do with combos. It's just that like an ideal field would be something like this. Severe Temper, and then let's put out an Abrail, and then like a Malayaki, and then I don't know. It doesn't matter what's behind the Vanguard, but for sake of it, let's put out another Malayaki. Actually, let's turn this guy into a Furious Puncher. And then basically, like let's say that we're on Stride Zone, Stride turn, and we're on like Bustard, and there's like 3 Bustards there. Counterblast. So you'd swing, and then you swing restand this column. It gets plus 10k, and then you swing again. Then what you get is this. You pay the Counterblast. For Bustard, flip something over. You choose these 3 to stand. And you use Counterblast 1 for Victor's skill to restand this column for another plus 10k. So it's 34k right here. And then you get your triggers. You restand this unit. And you swing again. This time, this also gets the plus 4k. So you give out plus 4k, plus 4k. This also got plus 5k to give out. So plus 5k. This got plus 9k, 27 to Vanguard. And then this got... I could make this 31 actually. If I get close 31k and then this is 34k. Also, if I give it to like 38k, that's how this deck runs. Not much else I can really say about it. The combos are very simple. You swing at face as much as possible until their face gives in and they become an ugly, ugly person as they are on the inside. Anyway. Alright, that's my Victor deck. I'm actually enjoying it quite a bit. Sadly, I will of course put all these cards on the market, just to be bothered. Not all of them really, just the ones that I pull from the case. But I really hope I do keep some of them and get a profit out of it. It's how I roll. Xewleer, out. Be sure to come to the stand-up series May 20th!